Yes, all right. Chanley Painter is now outside the courthouse, was inside the courtroom for everything this morning. Chanley, I want to start with this morning, right out of the gate, Judge Harb saying nobody in the courtroom because of coronavirus concerns. The state very upset by that because the victim's mother has been there throughout, and now she cannot watch the jury, cannot see what's going on from the courtroom advantage.
Right, and that didn't surprise me because the prosecutor has a bond and a connection with this family. I could tell from day one, Ted, when the victim's mother entered the courtroom, she smiled and waved across the courtroom to the prosecutor. They have a connection. Every time there's a break or a recess, the prosecutor is out in the hallway talking to the family, explaining things, answering questions. And so today, this morning, she was no doubt representing Adam Hilarie's mother, wanting to be in this courtroom. It's important to her family. It's been more than 3 years. They've been seeking justice for their son and waiting for this trial, making sure nothing happens to delay it or a mistrial. And I'm sure it's very disappointing she can't sit inside.
Andre Warner's family has also been there, specifically his mother, and the defense wanted her to have access as well. And I understand you talked to Andre Warner's mother.
I did. In fact, she makes sure every day that she leaves work early to be here in court to sit in there for her son. And likewise, the first day that Tracy Warner entered the courtroom, I could tell there was a connection between her and the defendant. I looked and said, who is this woman? She's related somehow, because he looks to her for her support every day. And I did get to catch up with her after court yesterday. Let's listen to some of that interview.
I was reading comments, and there's a lot of people saying how evil and satanic he looks, and I just wanted to let everybody know that's not Andre. Anybody that knows Andre, he's the jokester. He's laughing all the time. He likes to play jokes on people and have a good time. And you know, he's here fighting for his life. He's not sitting behind the desk trying to laugh and have a good time. He has a serious face on his look for a reason. Right. Yeah.
Tell us more about him, who Andre is.
Andre is a big brother that's taken his sister to the daddy-daughter dance. Andre is someone that took me in when I had nowhere to go from a bad relationship. Andre is someone that would get up out of bed and pick up somebody that if they called and needed a ride at the last minute, he'd do that. If he had $5 in his pocket and you needed it, he'd give it to you. Andre has a good heart. People that know him know that. You know, he does, yes, he has been in trouble, and it's out there, it's obvious. Has a perfectly clean record, but he's not a bad person. He's a person with a good heart and would do things for anybody that needed it.
Right. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about, when at the time that this happened back in 2016. And it may be hard for people that are watching and they see him sitting there and they hear all of these allegations of what he allegedly did or was a part of. What is it like for you having to sit in the courtroom to hear that? And then how would you respond?
To hear the people telling these stories about Andre, first of all, they're like contradicting each other, the stories that I'm hearing. And from what I hear, I sat in earlier on court cases as well. And it's just heartbreaking because these people, Andre didn't even know these people. He had been there just a few days because of something that happened at home, and he went over there and wanted to stay a few days and got caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately.
Right. I mean, if you look at the evidence so far in the prosecution, all they really have are the statements of these co-defendants, even the cell phone records. Yeah, they put him in the vicinity, but it's also in the vicinity of where he was staying at the time. And his case in chief is about to start. That's his time for his defense attorneys to put on evidence. Have you been sitting there looking forward to that part of the case?
Yes, definitely. To show where he was or was not at that time. Hopefully people call that can corroborate his story, the way he was actually at the time that this actually happened. Right.
And so let's just talk about, I can maybe address some of those people who say, okay, look, he was hanging out with some bad people. They were criminals. Mm-hmm. And he himself was on probation at the time. I mean, he does have an extensive criminal history. What would you respond to those people?
Unfortunately, he was at somebody's house. He can't control who comes and goes from that person's house. And yeah, he made some bad decisions. He was around people he shouldn't have been around. That's a definite. But is he going to be convicted of murder because of that? Making a bad choice, being around the wrong people? I don't think it's right.
Yeah. Why do you think all of them would want to point the finger at him?
He's the easy one. State attorney wants him. She had a case before him that she lost, and she's gunning for him. That's how I feel about it.
Oh, wow. Can you tell us about that case?
It was a case where somebody accused him of stalking her at where he used to work at, and that was a couple years ago, and the state attorney lost the case against him. That he was found not guilty.
It's interesting. I think I remember reading about that. The one at Wendy's?
Yes.
It's okay. Right. I also noticed that since he was arrested for this, he's gotten some new tattoos on his face. What do you as a mother think about these tattoos?
Not happy about the tattoos at all, especially the ones on his face. He does have his children's names. You can't see from being where, I guess, from the camera angle. One says blessings, the other three are his children's names. One of them is actually his stepson, not his biological. And the target on his head, right between his eyes. But yeah, not real pleased with those, obviously.
Ted, Tracy went on to say that her and Andre, they're both confident that this jury will see through and know that he's not responsible, he's not guilty for the murder of Adam Hilarie. They said that they are both praying and hoping together that the truth comes out.
And the target obviously is a statement by him saying that he has a target on his head because he is not guilty in his mind. What are we expecting from the defense? His mother sort of alluded to maybe somebody coming in as an alibi witness, or is that something she's just hopeful for? Is there any indication that there is going to be someone that comes in and says Andre wasn't there?
She is hopeful for it, and if so, that will be news to us. I didn't see anything like that in the court documents I poured through, and the defense attorneys haven't really given any indication, especially not in opening statements to the jury, that they had someone that would corroborate that he was actually somewhere else at the time of this murder. But we know from court documents, there'll be a parade of experts for the defense today, Ted. They're going to call a shooting reconstruction expert, a DNA expert, a digital expert. Again, going back to the crime scene, the evidence, the physical evidence, the digital evidence saying, look, nothing really ties him to this murder.
So timing-wise, the state, one more witness, defense kicks in this afternoon, likely after the lunch break. How long do we think this is going to go in terms of the defense? And then bottom line, when should we expect closing arguments at this point?
Those could be as early as tomorrow afternoon. I do know that Corey Chastain yesterday said that the experts, a couple of them, will be rather lengthy. So I think that will take the rest of today. They'll probably continue in the morning. I know that they're planning to call one other witness tomorrow morning who could only be here on Wednesday. So maybe in the afternoon tomorrow or even early Thursday morning.
All right, Chandler Painter, thank you.